We are now joined by the driver of the number 6 Performance Plus Motor Oil Ford, Trevor Bayne. Trevor, you have a lot of Texas-based companies supporting you this weekend. Obviously, we have Performance Plus Motor Oil, we have Advocare, and we have Liberty National. Just start off by talking about the support from these companies and what it means to compete in their backyards this weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm sure that meeting trying to decide who gets the Texas race was interesting, being that we're in all of their backyards. But I'm really thankful for all the brands she just mentioned with Performance Plus Motor Oil, Liberty National Life Insurance, and Advocare coming on board and being primaries at different points throughout the season. I don't know what it is about Texas companies. Even back to my Xfinity days, my sponsors have been from here. So it's pretty cool. We're really happy to have everyone here this weekend. They'll be hanging out. Already went and saw a big group from Safety Clean this morning, and I've seen some Advocare people and hope to see Liberty National here at the track. So it's definitely a place we want to run well at. We have run well here in the past, but you can't look at any past here now, that's for sure.
All right, we'll open up to questions. We'll start here in the front with Reed. We've got a microphone coming to you, Reed.
Hi, Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. What's it like out there? I mean, it looked pretty hairy.
It's a little treacherous, you know. It's you come in and your crew chief wants feedback about what he needs to do to the car, and you're like, man, I'm just trying to survive right now. So when you're out there on the racetrack, it requires every ounce of your focus and attention. It will bite you. We've seen that a lot today, that if you miss the groove by a tire width, that you can be in trouble. On our last qualifying run, I kind of got up a little high and had to abort my run. So I can't wait until this place widens out. Obviously, we're already talking about that the first time here. That will happen over time. I would love to run a bigger arc into turn 1, but where they put the rubber down, you just can't do that yet. I'm really glad that they did do that preparation, though. I think without that, we'd be sliding around all over the place. They have kind of chosen and dictated what line we have to run. If you look and see the lane that they rubbered up in turn 1, when I went out in the pace car, I said, man, there's no way I can run that low. I need to arc way bigger. And I tried the first lap and I said, okay, I'm going to run where the rubber is. Better move back down. The banking not being there in 1 definitely gives the car an uneasy feeling as you turn off the wall. You're working on loose end a little bit. You know, it's going to be interesting. Dirty air is going to be tough when you already are loose like that. But again, as the track widens out over time, you know, we have to be patient with repaves and understand that in the future, the less banking and things like that are directionally correct to get corner speeds down, aero dependence down. So I think they're making good decisions. I've always loved Texas, but part of that was the worn out pavement. So hopefully I have a new reason to like it this weekend.
All right, we'll go to Lee and then come over here to the left.
Can you talk a little bit about why your team has been good with repaves? Because last year on the 2 tracks that they repaved, you were 9th and 11th, which, you know, for where your team is, I guess competitively, that was pretty good for you to run that well at 2 tracks that were really unknown.
Well, I think part of it is just the way our cars are. You know, they need that mechanical grip, and when you're at a deficit, you know, and you are requiring more of the tire, you know, I think that's something you're fighting at the older racetracks. This year we've seen the opposite. We've been better at places like Atlanta, California. We've had better performance than Phoenix for my team, or Vegas. So we've seemed to make big aero gains, big mechanical grip gains with our setup, but I think that's probably contributing a lot of our performance last year. Was we're at a lack of mechanical grip. We go to a new paved racetrack and we get that mechanical grip. This season, you know, I think we've made huge progress in a lot of areas. You know, for me as a driver, I've learned a lot about preparation, and that's the next part of a repave. Everybody's on equal playing ground. Nobody has 10 years of notebooks to go to and say, you know, okay, I'm Kevin Harvick. I run the bottom at Atlanta, and I'm really good at it. You can't do that now. You don't know what you need to do. So when we get here, it's equal playing ground. I'm not at a lack of experience at this racetrack compared to other drivers or any repave. So I think that helps with young drivers. You know, and I think that's why you see Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, you know, Chase Elliott, myself, Ricky Stenhouse able to get a little bit more speed as compared to normal. Those other guys have been fast, but you go to a new track and nobody has an advantage on you. Yes, ma'am.
We're going to come over here to your left, Trevor.
Joe Menzer, FoxSports.com. How you doing, Trevor?
Doing great.
So when it comes right down to it, what do you see on Sunday as being the biggest factor in the race, the repave or the reconfiguration in turns 1 and 2?
I'm going to say the new pavement is going to be the biggest factor, just because it hasn't widened out yet. Any track that we go to the first time, we see that if you get out of the groove, you're in trouble, and that makes for hard racing. It makes qualifying very important. It makes it harder to pass, makes your car more dependent, puts you on edge when you get out of that groove. So I think the configuration over time is going to be better. I think that the configuration will provide better racing than it did in the past. I think new pavement is always the toughest thing when you go here. If you watch right now in practice, everyone is running within a half a car width of each other. You get to the race and you're trying to pass someone, they get forced to the outside. That makes it difficult, and you've got to learn how to battle that. And taking the air off the guy behind you is really important. For me in my race car, we're kind of guessing, okay, what is the track going to do as the weekend goes on? And I've seen it tightening up for me so far. So we need to make sure my car turns good on exit. But if you're loose in here and you're fighting for a little bit of real estate on entry, you're going to be in trouble. So I think making sure your car is really secure on entry and you're able to protect that, not let somebody get you up the racetrack, that's going to be really important. Yes, sir.
We'll go to Bob and then to Chris Knight.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. I assume you're using a biometric device. Has it told you anything about yourself?
That I'm working hard to get in better shape. Are you talking about my heart rate monitor here? Yeah, I'm just, I wear it every now and then in the race car to kind of see what I need to be working on. And this year my fitness is better than it's ever been. I say that every year, and I keep trying to improve on that. Last year I was doing a lot of Ironman style events. This year I've hired a trainer from the Supercross industry that trains a lot of champions over there, and he's really helped my training a lot. His name's Alden Baker, and I'm down about 10 pounds this year as compared to last year, and I'm able to really feel fresh in the race car. And we take that for granted. When you're worn out at the end of these races, you just don't make good decisions. So this offseason, I said, what areas can I do better in my role? And fitness is one of those things, and I feel like I want to monitor that in the race car. So I have a Polar watch here to do that, and just wear it to see where my heart rate's at.
We'll go to Chris. He's right behind the cameras.
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Trevor, I was just curious if you wish you could run the Xfinity race tomorrow, because it seemed like some of the guys said that the Xfinity race will help them have an advantage for Sunday. And do you plan to watch the Xfinity race tomorrow?
Yeah, I will be up on the spotter stand watching the race for sure. For me, I'd want to run Xfinity every weekend possible. I feel like at Watkins Glen last year, it really helped me in the Cup car. I think it's a huge advantage to be on the racetrack multiple times throughout a day and getting extra laps, learning how the balance changes. Like I said just a minute ago, I kind of have to guess, okay, what is my car going to do from practice to the race? What do we need to get in practice that will help me in the race? When you run an Xfinity car, you get to see that transition. You can see, okay, I ended at a 3 out of 10 tight, and now I'm good in the race, and you can translate that to your Cup car. So that is a big advantage, especially at a new racetrack like this, to get in a rhythm, learn where the speed is, where it's not. I would love to do that.
How do you think the stage races will play out on Sunday, knowing how treacherous the track is? Do you think people will take a chance and try to get those stage points? Do you think everybody will be cautious and wait for the third stage?
Well, track position is going to be key, and obviously you want to get the best finish you can, but if you can stay out, if cautions fall at a certain point, there's no fall off right now. So you're going to do everything you can just to get track position and maintain that. So if we can get it early in the race, if we can qualify well or stay out, early in a stage, then I don't think it's going to cost you. You have to weigh that cost at a lot of racetracks that we've been to so far. If I stay out here to get 4 stage points, is it going to cost me my track position later in the race? Here, if you get track position, you should be able to maintain it if you have a decent car, because tires just aren't falling off. We actually see the second, third runs being as quick or quicker on tires. So I think that's something you'll look at. I think that you'll try to get that track position as early as you can and hang on to it. Sir.
All right, Trevor. Well, thanks for joining us today. Good luck this weekend here in Texas.
Thank you all for having me.